What's up, Juventini? Today we've got a bunch to discuss. Cambiasso staying put. His agent is vocal about Andrea's intent, but will his intent matter? Who's going to be calling the shots as the Ultras react to a potential Agnelli return? And they're not doing that because of mainstream media, but everything going on behind the scenes. And I'm going to bring you the details, at least to what I have heard. And then we get to two players that are loaned out by Juve and could be returning, and then Igor Tudor and the training sessions going on at Continassa. What has he noticed and is trying to repair? We're going to go through all of this together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJC channel dedicated to Juventus. It's April 4th. Let's rock with the news. We kick things off with Cambiasso. When it comes to Cambiasso, we know the situation in January with that deal that was almost finalized with Man City. His agent a couple days ago spoke in a completely different tune, claiming that Andrea has always had the same intent, and that is to remain at Juventus and bring Juventus back to winning ways and have a long-standing career with Juve. This could very well have been the case the entire time. It could have been because of rifts with Motta, as he was always listed as one of the players to have major issues with the coach and not a strong relationship. Now, it's still completely different tune than what his agent was claiming at the end of the winter mercato, when he seemed downright upset that Juve didn't pull the trigger and make that move happen. And again, it could have been because of the coach, but apparently his intent is to remain at Juventus. But will it matter? And this report also still claims you still have to keep an eye on Mercato rumors, but it's completely different vibes from what happened at the end of the winter mercato. Will it matter though, his intent? Because it's going to come down to who's calling the shots. And we saw Elkan make a move in terms of Maurizio Scanavino, but will it matter? The Ultras have reacted, and not to mainstream media, but I'll get to that in a bit. First up, we've got Kalulu, and he is going to be remaining at Juventus. This comes from Nico Schira, claiming that Juve has communicated to his entourage that they will be finalizing the deal with Milan. It's going to be 14 million euro purchase, 3 million in bonuses. He's going to have a 2.4 million salary, and he's going to be locked up to 2029. How do you feel about that one? Hit me in the comments. Now, for two loan players currently out, Facundo Gonzalez, despite only playing 269 minutes at Feyenoord here, they've got nothing but good things to say about the youngster. However, at this point in time, it seems like the redemption is more so a no than it is a yes, so he could be returning to Juve. To be honest, I'm all for seeing him return and probably getting minutes in the Club World Cup. When it comes to Thiago Giallo, he is apparently set to return to Juventus. He has not been called up for the last two matches. He hasn't seen the pitch since February 24th. A return seems likely there. I'm going to give you a full rundown on our loan situation a little bit later on today. But when it comes to the team currently right now, Igor Tudor with the training sessions, apparently he does not like the physical condition that this team is in, and that is why he's been running double sessions at Continassa. Maybe, just maybe, that's why we saw such a drastic change from one half to the other. Simple energy, but maybe he runs them completely empty in the gas tanks. Time will tell. We got Rome on deck on Sunday. But again, we got to get back to the rumors of Cambiasso, and despite his intentions, will it matter who's calling the shots? What are they going to want financially? Scanavino is one of the guys that was brought in with Ferraro to correct the situation after the financial disaster that COVID brought upon us. And then, of course, the scandal that loomed that saw the board get dismantled and Agnelli leaving. Now Scanavino given full control by Elkan. Will they want a sale despite Cambiasso's intentions? Maybe, but here's the thing. Agnelli and his return is picking up a ton of steam. The Ultras, we saw react yesterday, putting up a banner claiming stay far away from this club, and in a post on Instagram claiming we don't want you here. And that's not from mainstream media that has always said Agnelli would love to return and is working at returning, but we're talking about 3 years down the road. Why would they do this on a day when Scanavino is reported to have full control? And the media hasn't really said anything about Agnelli for, I don't know, a couple weeks. It's because of all the smoke in Italy behind the scenes. And these are the details. It goes as far to claim that Agnelli also had something to do with Tether coming in that now has close to 9% in shares of Juventus. There's also claims that he played a part in bringing Tudor to accept a contract with no guarantees at the end of it despite results. It claims, as there's a lot of family drama in the background over assets, there's also rumblings back there that John Elkann and his cousin Andrea are absolutely fine, and that Agnelli has been advising Elkann through a little bit of this season. There's also claims that Agnelli is ready and has found the funds he needs through investors to have this purchase go through. And it also goes as far to claim that he's got Platini already in line and that it does not stop anything in terms of a potential chase of Antonio Conte. There's a lot of smoke around this thing going down, and that Agnelli is looking to make it happen ASAP, despite the fact he's got a ban that he can't actually take part in the actions. I always told you that it does not shut down him still purchasing and becoming that face of Juventus, because he just doesn't have to act in footballing matters until the ban is over. But it's picking up a ton of steam, and the Ultras, they're getting nervous. And why would you want the guy who kicked you all out to return? Makes sense on their part. They're looking out for their best interest. But an Agnelli return is picking up a ton of steam, everybody. And when you bring this up, it's got a serious divide in the fan base. Me personally, I could argue for both sides equally as strong. But if push came to shove, I would have more faith in him than the guys currently at the helm. Do you agree or disagree? What are your thoughts on an Agnelli return? You know the drill, everybody, as that wraps up your news break to today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC Army, but hit me with your thoughts on comments on all the news you just heard here today as we roll into the weekend. One more news edition tomorrow, and then we get ready for Roma with a live pregame show and, of course, a watch-along for that massive match. Until tomorrow, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti.